Hey everyone, we are continuing our color glazes. And I realized that I never picked back up where I left off with that thought about um, creating artwork for yourself and when you should show it to an audience and when you should not. And you may be surprised to hear that I'm saying that if you're not feeling like you want to show your work to people, just don't. Because I think a lot of times it's hard for non-artists to know how personal art is to the artist and how much emotion we put into each project. And if you're thinking about it, when people criticize your artwork, they're really criticizing you, or that's what it feels like at least. And it feels that way because we are incensed sitting down in front of a project that we are almost meditating over. We are pouring not only our creative energy into it, but we're also kind of meditating and thinking about every aspect of our life, people that we know, the hard times or good times that we may be going through. And I know for myself that I will look at a painting, and if I look around the entire piece, I can remember what audiobook I was listening to. I can remember what was happening in my life at that time. Like you always hear about people when they smell something, it ignites a memory. And for me, when I look at my old paintings, they definitely ignite memories. I can look at certain brush strokes and recall moments that were extreme joy or extreme agony. And it didn't have to be like related to anything to the painting process. It could just be things that I was going through in my life. So sometimes when it comes time to sharing, we get very nervous because we know that we're opening not only ourselves up to their criticisms, but we are opening a little bit of a part of our emotions and our lives and the things that we've been thinking about. So how do you get over that fear? And well, I think the first thing to know is that you don't really always like ultimately get over it. Even making this class is kind of terrifying. I'm going to be having, I felt the exact same way as a in classroom teacher as well, because that was like probably even harder because the criticism that you get is immediate, whether it's from your student, the administration, or from parents. And you know those people intimately and you care about them. And when they're like, I hate art, you're like, but why? Anyhow, so it is really, and plus we are also emotional people. We're sensitive. Well, sensitive is such a term that can be misunderstood, but sensitivity means your senses are a little bit more heightened. And that is a good thing for artists because then you're paying attention more to light, sound, emotions, and you can find ways to put that into your art. But because we're sensitive, a lot of times when we get criticism of our art, it feels like a personal attack. But we also have to consider this. I love mushrooms. Like on my pizza, I love to eat mushrooms fried in butter. I like to eat them like on everything. And how many of you out there love mushrooms like as much as I do? Another thing I really love, really weird, but I love bone marrow. I never thought I would, but oh my goodness, it is so delicious. It's like a butter. It tastes so good on toast, and it is something that they did. Well, I haven't had bone marrow in years now, but you know, baby COVID. But it was something that was kind of popular in LA for a while, and I was like, I don't know about this. And then I tried it, and I was craving it. And if I would tell people about how much I loved bone marrow, they would give me the look like I was, you know, like a vampire or something. And not everyone is going to like bone marrow or mushrooms or those like umami flavors or whatever. And if we think about it that way, that like a food, not everyone is supposed to like every food that you like. Not everyone is supposed to like the same music that you like. And not everyone is supposed to like the same art or the art style that you like. Just because you go to a museum and we placed such a high like value on the arts that it has to be like this or it has to be like this in order to be on a museum wall, like that just is all made up. What it comes down to is there's going to be people that will relate to your art and there's going to be people that do not relate to your art. And unfortunately, now in the time of the internet, it's way easier to hide behind a computer and say, I could do that. But are they? Like, are they actually? Because most of the people that are haters are not doing the work. And they find that by tearing other people down, it makes them feel better. So you have to make a decision to yourself. Are you going to let those people that have nothing to do with you, are you going to allow them to affect your artwork, to make you feel less than yourself just because they don't like bone marrow? Obviously not the same, but similar. And this is what I'm trying to get at, is we just really have to change our attitude on criticism. Because I mean, ultimately, the people that the criticism hurts the most, unfortunately, are people that are very close to us. I know so many people that hate art because they had a terrible art teacher that said, you can't paint the sky purple or whatever. When, who has the right? Like, who honestly has the right to tell you what you should like and what you shouldn't like? As an art teacher, what you should be doing is giving tools and processes a way for the student to interpret how they want. And whatever they take from it, they take, and whatever they don't, they throw it away, and that is completely fine because they are not you. So when it comes to doing your artwork and not showing your artwork at first, I get it because I was that person. I didn't show anyone, and I still haven't really submitted to galleries, but that's more of like I do a lot of commissions and film projects and, you know, different types of galleries, I guess. It's not the traditional gallery format, but that's also a different story that we'll get to another day. But anyhow, for me, for the longest time, I didn't share because I wasn't confident in my skills yet. So I spent the time really working on getting to a place where I felt confident in my ability. And it took a lot of learning, a lot of practice. And it took a lot of learning from other artists and trying to emulate styles that I thought were me. And in turn, I guess what I found out was the style is there already. But the people that you like, you're just kind of using it as an influence to select your color palette or a specific way to do your brush strokes. You shouldn't be copying, you should be inspired by certain things about your artists, your favorite artists. So until you get to a point where you feel confident in your art and you don't feel like you never have to share if you don't want to. If you have people in your life that are discouraging you from doing art, you should be able to go somewhere where they're not there and do your art and just do it for yourself. And that's that. It's really hard to hear when the people that you care about the most, family members, friends, put something into your head where when they discourage something that you're passionate about, something that you love, we as artists tend to internally think there's something wrong with us when that is not the case. I was never, like, even though I had regular jobs, art has always been it for me. And if anyone, you know, tried to tell me to do something else, like, I can tell you from experience, a lot of people have, but it always comes back to what is important to me and what is going to make me happy. I got really philosophical there. I apologize if you're like, just talk about the painting. I'm sorry. So yeah, we have a round brush. We're adding in more layers, and honestly, it is a lot of the same. You're probably wondering about my messy palette. This is pretty much where I am when I'm kind of in the zone, where I'm just kind of working and trying to find what needs a little bit of tweaking. We're really at the refining stage at this moment in time. So we do a lot of refining in the next video. So scrape off your palette and we will begin from there. I will see you then.